Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another AFLW Fantasy Fanatics pre-lockout chat ahead of round 8. And we're recording on Wednesday night live on the 1st of October ahead of the 5th to last week of the season. I'm your host, Bales, and you can find me at BAILSDT across the socials. And joining me, as always, is my co-host and AFLW Fantasy Fanatic, Tom Hales. Tom, mate, how are you? We're recording on a Wednesday night again, mate, because we've got some Thursday night footy.
Exactly. So get in early, have a chat. I'm busy tomorrow night, so it's good to have a chat early in the week and answer people's questions before that first game starts.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be rolling the arm over tomorrow night. Some cricket training. Obviously, we're getting pretty close to cricket season. It feels like so early. Like as someone that hasn't played cricket for a few years now, for me, it feels like September, October, so early.
First
it's like November, December, but it's like. Yeah, so
first game of the
starting
season
early.
was that day. Yeah,
exactly. So Ian's asking if you got a new light there.
I have not a new light. I've just turned on the lamp. Do you like to see my face a bit more? I've shaved as well, Ian. I thought I'd get dressed up just for you.
There you go. Wednesday night treat. So
exactly. Nothing to do with the fact I have to be shaved for work. Nothing to do with that.
But no, round 8 is upon us, and it's an interesting time of the year, Tom, because 5 weeks there's still a fair bit of time left in the year, and obviously it feels like we don't have long left because 5 weeks for fantasy coach like us two doesn't feel like very long, right? But we still got 5 weeks, still got just under half the season to go. Plenty of time to make ground up, plenty of time to lose ground if you don't nail your trades and get that cash in. Because the thing I'm worried about, and this will lead into our trades and what we're doing, but just so we touch on this first, is that cash gen we've spoken about for a couple of weeks is very, very tight. And for example, I'm looking at Piper Dunlop on my bench, and in the trade scenario of cashing her in and going down to 300k. But if I do that, I would then have Lewfield at 319k on the bench, not making any money unless she comes back in. Tara Harrington, who's 300k, not making money. I'd bring in a 300k ruck that's not making money. Grace Koch, who's not playing for the rest of the year, 300k. And then Lauren Young, who was hopefully going to make that cash. Low score on the weekend has stunted that cash. She might still make cash, but it's not going to be as much as quickly as what we thought. So I'm thinking, well, do I keep Dunlop and try and do some sideways trades and try and kickstart some cash in? So where are you at with your team? I know you've got a couple of rookies on the bench in Annabelle Johnson, and I think there's one other off the top of my head. I can't remember who it is, but
I've got Piper Dunlop.
Yeah, and Piper Dunlop. So what are you thinking in terms of regards to that cashing? Because that might help some of the listeners out because they're probably going to be in a similar boat.
Yeah, I'm trying to toss up because this week we have a few cheaper options in like the defensive and the forward line that can be traded down to this week to get that cash to do some sidewaysy, slight upgraded trades to try and get that cash going in the right direction. I think with cash gen being such a difficulty at this time of year, really getting off the players who you don't think are clearing away top of their line, and then flicking the ones who aren't down to an equalish player whose cash is on the up is going to be absolutely crucial to be able to fund trades in future weeks. If someone's top of the, you think someone's the top, like Zali goes where they put up a 60 this week, we're going to keep her. We're not jumping off that because she's far and away the F1 at the minute. But someone who's maybe less clear, who might be dropping in cash, like the example might have been like a Chloe Malloy before a pop score last week, would be someone you could have, if you had her at one after a first post score, jump off, get her cheaper in a couple of weeks. Although you do run the risk of the pop score like we saw from Chloe last week.
Yeah, exactly. So
if that made any sense.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. So like it's just a tricky one, right? Because like we got some players either on the horizon in terms of we want in our teams that we don't have. So like I'm looking defense as a couple, right? So we got to Lucas Rod, who's not highly owned amongst the top coaches, sort of getting towards almost 50%, but they're still going to be a top couple of defender, if not the number one, and you're going to want them in. So want them in there. Maddie Gay's a test this week. We know she's a very good scorer and she's in. She comes back in this week. We might be talking about her next week as a trade in type because of how good she was last year. And if she comes out and puts up a good score, we might want her. And then if people in the midfield don't have one of a Marinoff, Bowers, Gardner. I think Garner and Riddell are a little bit more affordable now. They've dropped a bit, but if they put up a 120, 130 this week, then they're all of a sudden going to be 1.3, 1.4 million, and they're going to be hard to attain. Rucks, most people got a Strom or a Wales or a Schultz. And then forward line, I feel like they're almost like they'll go up and they'll come back down. Like look at like people like Zanker and people going up and down in price. So it's a tricky sort of period that you want to get those players in because this is the push you want to make to get the top 100. And we're obviously both in the mix for that and want to get our teams in order. So it's an interesting one there. We do have a super chat here from Corey. Thank you, mate, for the super chat. Very much appreciate it, as always. I have two options, Barnett, Heath, and Ellinger for Hodder, McCormick, and Cordner, or Barnett, Heath, and Ellinger for Too Good, Chaplin, and Richardson, ranked 650 after 2 crap weeks. I think I'm comfortably the second.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hodder, McCormick, and Cordner, or Too Good, Chaplin, Richardson. I'm
second one. I'm the second one.
Quite looking at him, Heath you can trade. Good matchup though against Essendon, but can still trade. Ellinger just hasn't been getting it done, so you might want to jump off potentially. But Barnett's the interesting one there. Obviously, low score last week.
Essendon for defenders is not a good matchup. We saw last week all the North defenders struggle.
Yeah.
So I don't mind getting off Heath at all this week. I plan on doing it myself.
It's just as she played mid, but the thing is, like Chaplin's playing a couple of CBAs, Fitzsimon's playing a little bit more in the midfield as well. Like there's a lot of players running through. It's not like a sort of.
I don't mind Chaplin. I mean more for Heath, who's kind of not the main distributor back there, whereas Chaplin very much is for Melbourne.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
all the transition ball goes through Chaplin, and she's playing amazingly. I think it's definitely the second one, and I have somebody in that trade in my trade plans for this week. So
yeah. Well, the one I was going to ask you about was Barnett out in Corey's question because she had a poor score last week, was banged up, didn't play a lot in the rut in second half, but I think that was just down to the fact she was banged up. Decent matchup at least this week against West Coast. I'm putting it down to just a bad score when they got trounced by the Dogs, which Collingwood haven't done that for a while this year. We thought they would, but they've actually been fairly competitive in a lot of games. I'm probably still want to keep Barnett, but I guess if you're getting these trades in, because for me, Too Good showed last week, she's back to closer to her 2023 form than her 2024 form.
Yeah, I mean, you must have a lot of cash in the bank to do these trades, which is lovely. Just noticing now, there's a lot of cash flying around.
People probably have either Centra cashed in last week and have got money left over, or they're cashing in maybe this week. Obviously, Corey's not, but this week. But
I definitely don't mind Too Good. I'm not. I was hot on Barnett last week, but I don't mind jumping off this week just for the
cash loss potential.
The worry that just for the cash gen, I'm just the worry that is she still fairly banged up? Is she going to play more forward with Sabs Frederick? Might take off. You have someone there who is more than competent in the ruck. So is that split going to be more 50-50 if Barnett's still a bit sore? So I don't mind trading off that if you want to.
I'm just looking at the CBAs as well for Melbourne last week. So you had Hanks was number 1 on 82%. Then you had Kate Hoare, Lauren Pearce, and Shelley Heath all 65%. And then you had a mixture of like Taylor Harris 35%, Eden Zanker 24%, Maeve Chaplin 29%, and then both Fitzsimon and McNamara 18%. So you can just see Melbourne's midfield rotation is very diverse. There's a lot of different players running through there. There's half team. So it's not like there's Shelley Heath 65%, but there's only 4 or 5 mids running through there. It's the fact that it's sort of chopping and changing. She spends a bit of time on the bench as well. So that's obviously the worry while we're potentially looking at jumping off of her. So just because we do have a game and teams announced for a game. So obviously tomorrow night we do have Hawthorn and Fremantle for some Thursday night footy at Connect Stadium in Frankston. So the teams for that one, Emily Everest, Ellie Simmons, and Daisy Flockhart coming in to make her debut. So 332k midfielder coming in. Mackenzie Eardley's outmanaged. So Simons and Everest covers coming in for them. Butterworth has been dropped, and Emily Bates out injured. So she'll be out for a while. That's obviously why Flockhart's coming in. And then Dana East is in for Orla Lally, who is out injured as well. So I guess Bates out, the flow-on effects of that is potentially what could open up for us in fantasy. Besides that, nothing else with a lot of fantasy relevance there. But I guess we'll discuss. Oh, no, Sean does have a super chat. Thank you, mate. Saying, hey, guys, wondering which trade-ins... Oh, no, Tom's just ducked out. So I'll answer this one for you, Sean. Hey, guys, wondering which trade-ins would you go to Lucas Rod and Malloy, who is North Melbourne, or Chaplin and Hodder, who's got a good run. We'll get whoever I don't pick from TLR Chaplin the week after. I think I'm Chaplin and Hodder because Malloy will probably drop cash this week and she's got North Melbourne. I'd prefer TLR this week, but I think if you get Chaplin instead and get Hodder, who's going to make cash and has got a good run, I'd probably prefer to go there and then just get TLR in next week. Is that what you would do there, Tom?
Sorry, my stream just froze, so that's why I went and came back.
Sean just said, would you go and Malloy, who's got North Melbourne this week, is in, or Chaplin and Hodder, and then get TLR next week? TLR or Chaplin would you get?
I think I'd get Chaplin. I assume you can't get TLR and Hodder. That's why you're asking.
Yeah.
So I think I'd go Chaplin and Hodder for me. I don't think I'm getting Malloy this week.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing that would potentially lock you out of is if Maddie Gay's back in this week and she scores really well and you want her in, then you've got to make the choice of TLR or Chaplin next week. But that would be my only concern. And if you want the option of that, maybe go TLR.
Oh, no. I can also trade Simpson. What Charlotte Simpson? So Sean carried on.
Oh, I missed that.
I missed that bit. What's Charlotte Simpson's break even? Great pick, by the way. 29. She's still got cash to make.
Yeah, so Sean also said here, for those listening, said I can also trade Simpson early over Dunlop to get TLR over Chaplin this week. Currently ranked 40. So
I think I would get the two. I would trade Simpson, get the two players you actually want this week, because you're chasing. Like, you're not taking a gamble. You've still got Dunlop's cash in future weeks, and you've still got a bit of cash left over. And Dunlop's break even is
it's like 30 something.
Yourself, 31. Which, I mean, she's been there and thereabouts every week, basically.
Her cash isn't going to like spike like a 100k unless she scores like a 90, which we haven't seen anything like that anyway.
No, but if she scores a 40 or a 50, she's going to go up another 40 or 50k. So then she's going to be about 500k next week. I know Simpson will probably go up more, but I think you get the two best players this week.
I would agree. I'll definitely do that, because then next week, if Maddie Gay plays, you've got the choice. Do you want Maddie Gay or do you want Chaplin? If Maddie Gay doesn't play, then you just go Chaplin. But if Maddie Gay plays well, you've got the choice, and maybe you go Gay because not a lot of people are going to have her. So,
but maybe Chaplin then again. Anybody.
Yeah, exactly. But our trades this week, Tom, what are you looking at doing? Because I know both of us we've looked at our trades and gone, it's a tricky week.
Yeah, so the trade that's definitely going to happen is Tessa Boyd to Jenna Richardson. That's like locked in. How I fund that, I haven't decided yet. I currently have the swap of the Port Adelaide mid forwards. So I'm doing Ash Woodland to Piper Window. I don't love it. I may go Laura Stone just for a bit more cash. But that's kind of where I'm at. And the other trade will probably be Shelley Heath out. And at the minute, I've got Brittany Gutnecks coming in from the Western Bulldogs. A 90 last week in a very, very juicy off the back of stoppage halfback role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that pick.
Very much enjoyed the shift last week. In my position at about 300 something. I don't even know where I'm at. I'm kind of in a position where I need to try and pick a bit of a pod, and that's a lot of a pod. And I don't mind taking a risk in the defensive line on a pod, especially with a low break even. I expect cash gen there. And if it doesn't quite work as I wanted, or I see a bit of a role change as the week goes on, I can jump off next week and get the player I want. And it also preserves my bench cash a little bit.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? And my trades this week. So, like, my original plans on Monday when the pod dropped was like Dunlop down, Woodland down the window, and then that gets me the cash to go Heath up to TLR. But looking at my bench after that, that's Lewfield at 319k is not playing. Tara Harrington is not playing, making cash. Gross cost out for the year, as I said. And they'll be bringing in a 300k ruck who wouldn't be playing, very likely. And then Lauren Young, who's cashed in, stopped. No cash on the bench. I'm relying all on my field players, and I just think that's a very precarious position to be in with 5 weeks to go trying to get a hat. So at the moment, I'm looking at going Ash Woodland down to Laura Stone, which looking at the trade makes me slightly nervous, but I think with window in probably just takes off the ceiling of Ash Woodland at least. And Laura Stone, with Emily Bates out and Bridie Hipwell out, I think that just opens up a big hole for Laura Stone to come in. I think Daisy Flockhart's making her debut and she's a midfielder, but Laura Stone is ahead of her in the pecking order just because she's obviously been playing in the team. And I'm looking at Laura Stone and her scoring when she was in this role, and the scoring was fairly solid, right? So looking back at her scores, so she went 69, 68, and then the midfield role after those 2 weeks started going down a little bit, and she went 55, 56, 52, and then 37 last week. But the last 4 game times on ground, 55, 65, 42, 54%. With Bates out, I expect her game time to go up, at least to what she was doing in the 2 games in round 2 and 3, where it was 75 and 72%. She tackles, hopefully she makes cash. So that's currently what I'm looking at doing. And then going Dunlop across to Reed. That's if Morfitt's not there. If Morfitt's playing, obviously I'm not doing that trade. And I'd probably then just do Zanker across the window, which I may just do anyway if I want to do that. And then I've got the cash to go Heath up to Lucas Wright. That's my current plans at the moment. So, yeah, just trying to figure out a few things there. And I'll probably still tinker around with it tonight being Wednesday. Still got 24 hours or less than 24 hours to do it. So we'll see. But that's currently what I'm thinking of doing there. Captains this week. I think I don't know about you, Tom, but I've only got really the one player I can VC, and that being Kiara Bowers. So I'll go Bowers probably VC into Ebony Marinoff, who's got Richmond. What are your plans with a VC? Well, who's your red dot to loop, and then who's your VC into C, or have you got a VC to look at?
So I will, unfortunately, because my team is in a really good spot, I don't have Bowers, so I can't VC Bowers. But what I do have is I have Mimstrom. So because I've got Mimstrom, I'm doing Mimstrom VC into, I think, Ebony Marinoff.
Against Richmond. Good matchup.
I think Ebony Marinoff.
Yeah. Because the thing with the North mids, right? Because I'm looking at Garner Riddell. They'll both bounce back. They're not going to be that bad again. But who does Tanya Kennedy go to? That's the question for me. Does she go to Garner? Probably matches up better against Garner, but Riddell's been amazing this year. Does she maybe do a bit of a role there? It's going to be interesting to see what they do with that midfield, Sydney, to try and combat the 2 Sydney North Melbourne mids. So part of me is like scared off a little bit by just, does it tag? Where does it go? So yeah, I think Marinoff is probably the one. I think I'm liking the look of this week. But yeah, let's get stuck into your questions. So if you are tuning in live, as always, chat your questions in the chat, and we'll try and get to as many as we can before the end of the show. So Lever's got the first one. He says, "Hey boys, would love your thoughts on my trades this week. Going Taylor Harris down to window, Dunlop down to a 300k rookie, and Conan up to TLR. They get ticks from me."
You can do that, yeah.
Yeah. Again, the one thing, Lee, that I like, they're similar to what I've looked at. The one thing just to look at, hopefully Dunlop down to your rookie doesn't leave you with all 300k rookies on your bench with no cash on the bench. Hopefully you've got like Tom's got an Annabelle Johnson or someone like that on your bench that's got some cash to access. If like we saw, like because Tom, we talked about this as well. Like we saw with Caitlin Gould, right? She got injured on a 0, which hopefully no one does. But if it were to happen on a low score, she lost 200K. Like you could get a player who's 100K, 150K, and if it's a forward particularly that goes from 750 stones throw away from a top forward down to 600 or 550K, you've got to find 300K to get up to another forward. So it's an interesting one. So that would just be the one thing, Lee, I'd consider there. But on the face value of the trades, I like them. We get there, you get ticks. Ethan Peacock. Hey, lads, couple of questions. Would you trade in Chaplin or Watson? That's the first question. Where would you go?
Chaplin, because it's a bit more unique.
What's the price?
I don't see much difference. I just barely any.
Oh yeah, what? Yeah, it's like 37K between the two.
Yeah, Chaplin's cheaper, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd go the cheaper one. I don't see much difference there.
Yeah, I prefer Watson personally, but as you agreed, the cash gen.
I'm trying to put some respect on Chaplin's name, if I'm honest.
I think
Chaplin's
a lot. I think Chaplin's a locked in top 5 now. I think she's she's got to be someone we got to have at some point. I'm just looking at Serena Watson. She's taken that 30 odd. She scored. She's dominating, and she's going very, very well. So I'd go Watson if you've got the cash, but agree with Tom. Chaplin's more unique. I do like the pick. Good run coming up as well. And that 40K, or 37K, that could be a difference. So yeah, I think it's a coin toss. And then he also says, and who would you trade out of Barnett or Woodland? Is it Woodland? Just with window back? Probably where I'm landing, because they've both got higher break evens that they might both drop.
Yeah. I'm going to throw this back to you, Ethan. If you think Barnett is fine and going to play in the ruck, then trade Woodland. If you think Woodland's going to play in midfield and not deep forward, trade Barnett. I don't have any more answers than you.
I think the reason he's asked us, is because he's not sure. He's like, yeah,
he's not sure. And I'm not going to give you any. I'm really sorry, Ethan. I'm sitting well and truly on the fence because I don't know.
You're sitting.
I think in your situation,
in the middle of the fence.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I don't like either of them forward. What? Okay, let's play the easy game. Woodland break even is 88. Barnett break even is 82. And they're about the same price. The matchups. Let's do this the easy way. I'm pretty sure
Port's matchups after this week are a little bit trickier.
Brisbane, Hawthorn, Adelaide is the next 3 after this week. I think you can trade Woodland.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Woodland as well. There's 27K difference, as you said, Tom. Not very much at all. Yep, I'm probably Woodland, but yeah, if we get any word of like Barnett's playing a little bit sore, then that would change it the other way.
Yeah.
But yeah, agreed. Damon Snell got the problem of having Paxi and Boyd. Only can get rid of one this week. Who would you go? Is it Boyd? If you have a little bit more faith that Paxi, at least they might be able to get back to some sort of form.
Yeah, I would go. I would trade Boyd, but one thing I'm going to say, if you want to trade both, you probably can just about do it with like a Woodland down to a Laura Stone as your cash grab. So I would kind of look at the kind of something like that, or a Barnett to Stone.
Yeah, so if you do that, who are you bringing it? Because you said you didn't say who.
So
enough cash to bring.
You can get with that. You can get someone like Jenna Richardson at 725K, and you can get an Emma Carney at 730K.
That's fine. If you can do that, for example, that's something definitely like Woodland down to Stone, and then go Boyd and Paxi up to Carney and Richardson. I'd do that definitely if you can do that.
I think you can, or even I know she had a stinker last week, but even like a Jade Ellinger at 691, I think I'd want to get off both Paxi and Boyd this week. And I think you
Yeah.
can do it if you take a little bit of your haircut in the. So, assuming by your question, Dan, you don't have the bench cash, you're doing like a Dunlop down to get some cash to do something.
Yeah. So maybe if you do Woodland or one of those forwards down, maybe to Stone or something like that, that might get you the cash potentially to do it. Yep, I don't mind that play at all. Patrick Stephen, hey pals, was second for the round ranked last week. Is that good?
No.
We'll talk about a flex. No, it's not good enough because you didn't come first. So there you
No.
No, but Patrick, congrats on coming second for the week. But yes, it is pretty good, mate. That's for sure. Yeah, Damon Snell saying, yeah, Flockhart debutant as well, 332K. I'm interested to hear what I'd say. I'll need to message Liam or John and get their thoughts on Flockhart as a 332K debutant, because we don't get too many debutants at this stage of the year. But we know that the debutants start coming in now probably aren't going to have the same scoring as what we got earlier in the year, which is, I guess, the worry there. Braddle's Fantasy. Yes. Hey, leg ends. This is the legend, one of the legends. I remember he tuned into Hat Chat Live all the time, and DC read out Braddle's Fantasy. Hey, leg ends. So how you going, Braddles? Hope you're going well. Needed to pick 2 out of Heath to Watson, Prasparkas to Riddell, and Zanka to Hodder. Or do you chase a bit more value in the forward and defense? Out of those 3, I think Heath to Watson is one I'd be making.
I think I'm doing the top 2, honest.
You'd go Prasparkas to Riddell and hold Zanka for a week?
I think I'd hold Zanka for a week. I don't know if it's just because I'm a little bit of, I'm not as much as a Hodder believer, given she's been great. I just see the Melbourne matchup this week, and I'm just like Essendon and then Freo, and I'm just like, Zanka could pop here really easily, and I think the other 2 are really nice upgrades. And there's still going to be players to go to at an accessible price in the forwards next week. I think Heath is nowhere near.
You had accessible and attainable in the same way. You're trying to pick which one you.
Yeah, somewhere both gettable, like the podcast. I think you want Riddell. I think you want Watson. I think you'd like Hodder, but I think you want the first 2. So I think it's the first 2.
Yeah, I agree. I would go the first time, because worst case is if someone like a Stone, Taylor Smith, one of those 2 pops this week, you can go Zanka across to him. Or Window, she goes well, you can probably go slightly up. Malloy's going to drop a bit. Barnett's going to drop a bit. Maybe go to one of those 2 from Zanka next week. That's like, for example, as a Zanka owner for holder, that's what I'm looking at potentially next week. Corey Blackledge, what is annoying with Gay is that she will be priced on last year's average, not 2025 average. Need to play 6 games. Yes, for next year. Yes, no, agreed. Very annoying. Could go Maloney or Woodland. I've got 416K in the bank. Wait, so Corey, you're talking about bringing in one of those 2 forwards?
That'll be from his previous.
Yeah, that'll be instead of like a Bonnie Too Good. I think I'm still Bonnie Too Good over those 2, which is crazy that a couple weeks ago we probably weren't. Too Good just showed to me last week that she's probably matchup proof. Maloney's the one I'd be considering potentially over.
Yeah, I'm not against Maloney, just because that Geelong run is much nicer than the Essendon run. And I know, like, Melbourne, Bulldogs, Brisbane, Hawthorn in the next 4. It's not great. I'd much prefer Carlton, GWS, West Coast than the Bulldogs. So I think I'd go Maloney. Yeah. But Too Good is a better play.
Yeah.
Too Good needs to go behind the ball to score. I
think she will.
I think she will as well. That's why I've got her and keeping.
I wish I did jump on when I needed to. I can't even remember who I brought in instead of her, to be honest, but that's okay. Okay, cool. We answered one from Sean. That was a from 4. Ghost Bakes. The best 5 mids are clear. Can you rank them in order of importance to have for the rest of the season? And who's the best mid option outside the big 5? Good question. There, Ghost Bakes. I'll go first.
Here we go. Okay.
I'll go first. So if I'm ranking in order, I've probably got Marinoff at 1. I actually think Bowers has actually moved into number 2. Free Kick did their Sweet 16, their top 5. I actually think Bowers is into number 2 now. Just she's back. Like the last 3 weeks, she's shown that the first few weeks she was getting used to the new game, like the rules, interpretations, obviously a year out. But now she's back to the Bowers we know. So I've got her at 2. I've probably still got the North mids ahead of Gardner, which is disrespectful because Gardner is averaging 125 for the year. But I think I've still got Garner's had one bad score and the other one was a bad injury, but she hasn't gone below 117 other than 2 games. So I've got Garner at 3 still. I've got Riddell at 4, which again is also disrespectful because she's had such a good year, and then Gardner at 5. But they're so good that you can really doesn't matter how you rank them. And then I'll in terms of my best option outside of those 5, I really want to say Dana Finn just to piss Tom off.
I didn't say anything.
I'm going to say if it's after the next couple of weeks for the last month of the year, I think Mon Conti's got a really nice last few games. So I might say Mon Conti, but then again, Jean Anscorn's also been very good at 108.7 average. Kate Hall, Ella Roberts, but I'll say Mon Conti so we don't get. But yeah, your top 5, Tom, and then your 6 that you like for the outside the 5.
I think Marinoff is 1. As a non-Bowers owner, it's going to hate me. I'm looking at Bowers' run for the rest of the year, and it's glorious. So I think Bowers is 2. I'm probably the same order as Bales, if I'm honest. Yeah, but I wouldn't be like. But I think they're all quite close.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
like
I think
sideways.
Marinoff is
I'm
clear
not
1,
doing
but 2.
I'm not doing a Gardner to Bowers move for me.
No. You like 2 to 5 are fairly close, but I think Noffy's now reclaimed she's number 1.
And my best outside, I've got some different. If you want to have something poddy, I've got 2 different names for you, or 3 different names. I've got Ash McCarthy, I've got Gab Newton, and I've got someone you might already have in your team, Georgia Prasparkis. And I'm purely going off they have lovely runs for the rest of the year. They're good midfielders with great runs. And that is kind of, if you're looking to go somewhere else and you're looking, because I'm in that boat, I'm probably going to be playing with that M5 position. So I've currently got Ella Roberts in my team. I can't get Bowers. I don't have the cash to get 400k up to Bowers. So I might be trading around that final position, trying to get the 100 averaging mid who can pop me a 120 to match it with the big dogs on a week-to-week basis. So I would literally be looking on runs and looking at those 100 averaging mids-ish and trying to get the ones that play your Gold Coasts, that play your Eagles, that play your GWSs, that even play your Adelaides.
Well, so
that's something that Adelaide are becoming a green matchup for elite mids only. Average mids don't really score. Elite mids fly. Because Adelaide do not
Conti. That's why I said Conti. Because
Conti's
got Adelaide this week. Conti's got North Melbourne next week, which is not good, right? But then after that, she goes Collingwood, Fremantle, Gold Coast. Amazing last 3 games. So if you're looking for a player that's under 1.1 million in the midfield, and you're happy to take on the fact that she's got North Melbourne next week, Conti's 4 of her last 5 are very good. Like, we were worried about her a few weeks ago because she obviously had Brisbane. She had a few tough games. St Kilda, who have been, again, tough for mids this year. But now she goes into a good run. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that Conti actually had a pretty good score against North Melbourne last year because that was a really wet game down Tassie. I think she scored like a 120, 130. So maybe that game might not be too bad for someone like Moncon. But yeah, that's why I put her there. But no, agreed with some of those names you said there as well. The definitely ones there. So Ghost Bakes, hope that does help out with that one. Daniel Hughes, Steel Park this week, lads. So yes, though, Tom, you spoke about Steel Park on the Monday pod.
Yeah.
386k went up. She obviously scored a 59 on the weekend. What is mature age recruit?
Mature, 29-year-old. If you can afford her and do your trades, lovely. If you can't afford her to do your trades and need a 300k, do a 300k. I don't think she's going to be that good. That missing. We've seen this before, right? Ash Reedy put up a 50-odd week one. We all thought, great, there's an easy 200k, jump on, and has gone 3 followed by 14. Given, I think, that defensive role in the Swans lineup is a decent enough role to do chip around a little bit. But having someone as good as but plays North Melbourne this week, and that was the Ash Reedy issue. Went straight into North Melbourne.
Yeah,
how to hit Cashden like a sledgehammer, play North Melbourne.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the worry there. But no, yeah, don't mind if you're looking for someone to make cash. Like, yeah, definitely. If you've got the money, that she could be an option for sure. Sean's saying, yeah, think you trade Simpson. Just expect her to go up a bit because Richards is out now, so maybe a better role. Yeah, that's a point, right? She might have a better role, but I think at this point, keep Dunlop. You trade Simpson, you get the better players in, and it gives you a bit of better flexibility for who comes in next week.
Yeah,
sorry,
but Sean, if you honestly think Charlotte Simpson is going to make 200 more K,
yeah, then keep her.
Then keep her and get Chaplin.
Because Chaplin's very good. It's not like you're taking too much of a haircut. So Simpson's 510k. What's Simpson's break even? So she's gone 54, 52 the last 2 games. The only thing I don't like about Simpson is she's her time on ground this year. So she got injured in round 4.
29.
56. Yeah, there you go. So 56%, 52%, 43%. So it's very, very small game time. But as you say, Richard's out.
Might
bump
go
up 60, 65, 70% potentially. So, yep, something to consider, Sean. So, back your gut in on that one, I think. Daniel Hughes says, I'm going Centra to Riddell. Geez, lovely upgrade. Thomas to Steel Park. Kona to Georgia Stathis. So, okay, the asterisk I'd put on this. If Steel Park is on field, which I assume that she would be if you're going Thomas down to Steel Park and then Central Riddell, I would not be doing these trades because Georgia Stathis I wouldn't be bringing in either. So I'd probably be rejigging those trades down there. I think I'd be looking at something else. Like maybe it's not Riddell. Maybe it's a Conti
Ali Anderson
or someone a little bit even.
Conti.
Ellie Blackburn could be an option.
I would much sooner get Ellie Blackburn than trade out Thomas and Kernan to Jordox Stathis and Steel Park. I just think what you're doing there is taking 2 70s and replacing them with possibly 2 25s or 2 30s to get
Georgia Stathis. The scores were coming well when she was in the midfield. So I agree.
I just don't think doing one of those downgrades, if you wanted to do like Thomas to Georgia Stathis as a punt, one of them, and then do 2 upgrades on the other side of it, I can get behind. But I don't like the double downgrade for the 1 upgrade in that to those 2 players.
Yeah, agreed. Corey Butledge, can't believe I traded Bowers to get Centra, score 108, and was getting her back last week and missed lockout, so went Anderson instead. Yeah, it's a tough one there, Corey. Yeah, no, me and Tom, we both trade Bowers
Anderson
out
will be
after
good.
that 70
Anderson will be good, though. Anderson's going to be good.
I'm worried this week.
But with the tag.
This week I'm worried. I think Single goes to her and clamps her a little bit. That's my worry. She's got then Port Adelaide and Essendon, so I think it's fine. And the thing is, it's one of those matchups for Anderson where she doesn't get tagged, she's going to go well. But she gets tagged, it might just be an 80, which I guess is fine. You can live with that. But yeah, it's obviously just annoying that Single's probably going to go to her. Ian says, hi, D5 upgrade to in Boyd to go, to someone like Tom. Who to bring in at 792k? Gervin, Richardson, or O'Driscoll? One thing I'd say, Ian, Gervin has been a very good pick, but she isn't in the same conversation as some of these other premiums. She's had a great 2 weeks, but she was a cheap rookie that if anyone out, actually, I'd like to know if anyone did bring Gervin in at 400 something after Tom mentioned her on that Friday show, 417. Please let us on in the live chat or comment or whatever. I just want to hear someone.
Because
Yeah, very, very good play.
I think it's Richardson for me for those.
Yeah, I'm Richardson.
Freo are a green go matchup for defenders. They cannot kick inside 50. They lump it forward, and it's just beautiful. Look what Harriet Corner did to them last week.
And who does that suit?
That's what Jenna Richardson's going to do this week.
Yeah,
and that break even is tiny.
What is the break even actually?
It's 32. I want to say 33. It is 34.
It's not tiny, but yes, yeah, agreed. Yeah, so no, you can definitely make
cash. If she goes 75, which I think she can almost comfortably, she goes up 110k this week.
Yeah, lovely. So yeah, I'm Richardson as well. O'Driscoll's been good though.
Then you're in grasping distance of TLR.
Yeah. O'Driscoll's been good, but yes, I agree. I think I'm Richardson for the matchup. Damon Stone, just with North versus Sydney game, Garner went 131, Riddell 97 last year in Tassie. Yes, I do remember that. I think Riddell much prefers the dry games. So I'm hoping that I haven't checked the Tassie weather, but that game was really, really wet. We know Garner, the one thing I love that Garner does is she farms these tackles where I don't know how, she must have like a magnetic field. And the players just run into Garner and she just wraps them up and the ball up. It happens probably 3-4 times a game. And it's hilarious. I love it as a Garner owner, but as a non-owner, I just hate watching it and go, it just tackles are just people running into Garner and she's just getting these tackles. So yeah, if it is wet, she will do that a few times there. Chris says, am I going to gain anything going sideways? Heath and Woodland to Richardson and Too Good, ranked 207th. I think
yes,
you probably are, because Woodland's going down in money. Too Good is going up a little bit and has got a good role at the moment. And then Heath is stalled, and Richardson, as you said, Tom, he got up 100k this week. So I'm ticking those off if you're looking at it.
Yeah, and I assume bit ranked 207th. Well done, mate. Hope you push towards the hat. Not at the expense of me though. We're trying to still gain cash. I assume you've got 3 or 4 of the top defenders and forwards, but we're still trying to get our lower end players, our D4s, our D5s, our F4s, our F5s, up to the ones we really want. So we still need cash. So I think Heath to Richardson, at very worst, is sideways, but you're going to gain 100k doing it off cash gen that Richardson's going to make.
Because Chris also said I can go Woodland to Hodder and get a 300k ruck rookie, whereas I prefer to hold that cash as the ruck rookie and get Too Good instead.
We've still got 4 weeks after this week, and it's a long time with no cash. We're going to get a poor score on field by someone we're going to want to trade in the next 4 weeks.
And you want that bailout rookie on the bench to cash in to get that upgrade.
As I've said all year, the price fluctuations in AFLW Fantasy are so big that if you don't have any contingency cash, you're going to have to try and make it somewhere and trade out a player that you don't really want to down in order to fix up somebody. So if you've got a nice little 500k on your bench, Hyper Dunlop next week, to go, let's cash that in now. Brilliant. Let's do. Or that player dropped to a 50. I can get that player up to an Uber. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, because best case scenario is that nothing, like everything goes fine, no injuries or anything, and then that 200k from Dunlop can get you TLR, Matty Gash, who plays this week, one of those mids that you don't have. Maybe Chloe Malloy will be a prime target next week after the North matchup. She'll be in the mid 800s, potentially below 800k, which is something that we're all going to be looking at next week if you don't have her. And it's going to be a prime time to jump on someone like Chloe Malloy. Montana Ham, same thing. So, I agree.
Yep.
So Sean says Woodland's got the harder run, so I think I'll be keeping Barnett. And that's what we're saying for you. So we agree with that.
Completely agree. Just check on any notes coming out of Collingwood about if Barnett is sore.
Yes.
That's the only thing I'd say. We're only at Wednesday. If you hear anything later in the week, just keep your ear to the ground about Barnett's health.
Yeah. Corey Blair said he meant trading out Maloney or Woodland. Definitely don't trade Maloney. Oh. You go Woodland. She's more expensive and she's going to drop money. Yeah, Maloney's someone that I've looked at targeting potentially even this week. So I'd be definitely keeping Maloney and trading.
Maloney's fine.
And nothing against Woodland. It's more just windows back. She'll drop cash. We can watch at least how this role's going to go. We might target her again, but just have a look at it. Patrick Stephen, I'll try for first next week, Bales. Thanks for the advice.
Thank you.
All
Thank
good,
you.
mate. Hopefully you can. Geez, I'd love to see. I'd love to see the rank increases if you go second one week and then first the next. Like it would just be ridiculously high. Like it'd be crazy. So Patrick, mate, you might be able to do it. So hope good luck to you. Chris, or I can go. Oh no, I said that before. Game Day Society. So Mark, my co-host of the Game Day Squad show we do on the Wednesday night, said Finn's up. So he's a fan of Dana Finn. So yes, we talked about it on that
excuse
show.
me.
And,
we don't mention it. It's the Dana free zone.
Yeah. Dana free from Dana Finn for Tom. That's what he's saying. Has says, Bales, would you go Zanker to window, hold 200k next week? Need to get Sparks up to Riddell, Schultz to Wales or Strom, and Conan up to a primo defender, or go Hodder? I think I'd be going. I
don't mind that.
I'd be going for the first option just because it gives you flexibility to hold some cash for next week for upgrades. You could go Hodder this week. Have you got the only thing I'd rather Hodder over window, right, moving forward. But the question I would ask is, do you have the cash next week to do trades you want on the bench? Is that 300k going to be very useful? Maybe you're getting Hodder for, because I was going to say, like, could you get Hodder for a week and then trade? But she's got such a good run. If you get her this week, you're keeping her, and then you lock that cash away. So really, it just comes down to what the rest of your team's looking like, your cash gen. If your cash is fine, looking great, you've got money to get Prespars to Riddell anyway, then go Hodder, because I think she's going to be a better option for the next 3 weeks. But if you need the cash, window's fine, then you can go Prespars to Riddell next week.
Yeah,
sorry, you're getting Prespars to Riddell next week, but just depending on what trade you need next week.
Yeah, you've just got to look, and I'm doing exactly the same thing with Piper Window. It's like, what are we expecting from Piper Window? What are we expecting her to average? I think she can average about 70 to 75, which is absolutely fine at F5 for me. I'm absolutely happy with that. The run's not bad, but it's not like the best reel I've ever seen.
Yeah, because dogs aren't actually that good a matchup for
the dogs just have low scoring games. They're just dour games. The dogs just playing absolute dour games.
Yeah, and then Port go Brisbane the week after into Hawthorn and Adelaide, as you said before. Whereas that's why I've looked at Laura Stone potentially instead, and that helps with a bit of catching because Laura Stone goes Freo this week, who are a good matchup, high stoppage team. Laura Stone loves tackling when she's in the mids. Then she goes Gold Coast, Port Adelaide, Essendon. So like, I'm not going to be holding Laura Stone for that long, hopefully. Well, like if she's scoring 70s and 80s, then I might. But it's maybe a couple weeks play to get some cash.
Bales, the break even is 60.
Hmm.
So she's not making any cash this week.
Yeah, that's the thing that sucks. The 60 break even, but to get the trades,
if you're using that, if you're using that cash you just need to. If you're going Laura Stone, you need to have a way to trade Laura Stone next week. If that doesn't,
I'm probably not going to have a way to do that if I get Laura Stone. So, or I go Taylor Smith. Taylor Smith's the other one I've looked at from Brisbane. Is that she's got a good run coming up.
That's aggressive though, because she's got a real flaw.
Yeah. Well, I need to do something, right? I can't get TLR without doing that, right? It'd have to be sacrificing someone else.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to.
Now you make me now I don't know what I'm going to do now. But no, yes, that's what I'd be looking at there. But Wales or Strom?
Yeah.
If you're picking between the two, you're probably going Wales at this point.
Wales, as long as it's Lucy.
That is. I would assume it would be. Yeah, I'm sure it would be Lucy. If it's Steph Wales, then it's Strom. So it's Lucy Wales, Strom, Steph Wales in terms of the ranking of those order. Braddle's fantasy thoughts on Anya McDonald with a very good soft forward run. I like Anya McDonald as a bit of a pod play. She's, as Jono said on the show with us and on Free Kick, that since Aileen Gilroy's been back, it's where McDonald's been having some better scores. So yeah, I don't mind that play. I also don't hate Aileen Gilroy. It's a bit of a smoky as well. A few of those Hawthorn players you could definitely look at. What do we got here? Corey's saying, happy that I brought in Davison for the bench last week from Brisbane. No, very nicely done. I can't believe someone said.
Yes, we know.
Yes, he's talking about Finn again.
I know. That's why. That's why. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sean said, I've just realised I've got the 6th best cash gen. There you go. Beautifully done there, Sean.
Go,
so nicely done.
Fine, mate. Fine.
Chris, thanks to the advice, lads. We'll be able to go Levy to Malloy next week with the cash save. There you go. Someone jumped on Levy when we were suggesting it. So congrats, Chris, on that one. And yeah, Malloy, that'll be a very good trade next week. And then Haz says, paid up for Barnett last week and copped a 30. So a bit afraid Hodder's going to do the same. And that's the thing, right? With the forwards especially, you pay up, they can drop those lower scores, which is a shame. So, yeah, something to definitely think about there as well. Well, I think we've answered all the questions tonight. We got through all of them. So appreciate everyone getting their questions in. And for those listening about the pod, it'll be a bit of a shorter one. So we will wrap up here and and we'll let everyone go. But for those that missed it before, Tom, what are your trades this week and your VC and C?
So I'm currently on Heath, Woodland, Boyd to Richardson, Window, and Gutnet. And I'm VC Strom because I've got no Bowers into Marinoff.
Yeah.
With about a 120 line.
Yeah, I like it. And then my trade. So I am currently going Woodland to Laura Stone, Shelley Heath to Lucas Rod, and then going Dunlop across to Reed from Sydney. If Morfitt's not there, if Morfitt was named, I may pivot then Zanker to Window. I guess I don't love having Window and Stone in my forward line, but that could be how it goes. It's really just come down to is, Rod, if I don't get them this week, I could do something different, but I'll play around with it. But at the moment, that's the trades doing there. We'll just we had like 3 questions, smack bang, as soon as we said we'll wrap up. So we'll quickly answer these rapid fire here. Damon Snell, played around with trades since my question. Dunlop to 300k, Boyd to Richardson, and Tarlington to Still Park. Have filled as a potential loop, so I could choose between them. Yeah, don't mind that. You're essentially going Dunlop to Still Park. You've still got someone generating cash in another way. I think I'd be ticking those off. Are you ticking them off as well?
Yeah, they're fine.
Yep. Ian, any risk of trading in Gardner given Hurley's back? If Hurley is back, I think
maybe, but she scored with her. She scored with Hurley in the team before, though, right? She's not like dependent.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about Hurley being back for Gardner. I'm just probably more thinking about that she's so expensive. Is that just going to affect your trades moving forward? But you can trade her in. Yeah, I'm not on it. The only risk is that she's expensive. And then the last one here was from Sam Watt saying, "Hey lads, currently ranked 62nd. Congrats, mate. And it's the closest to how I've ever been. Do you tick off Woodland to Window, Richards to Maloney or Too Good, and Heath to Watson or Chaplin? Love your work." Well, yes, definitely ticking those 3 trades off. Woodland to Window, tick. Richards to Maloney or Too Good. I think you said Maloney before I said Too Good. I think that's what
I don't mind. I don't mind either one.
Yeah, I don't mind either one either. So
I don't mind either one you want there,
Sam. And then Heath to Watson or Chaplin. Again, we said before, go each other, everyone you want. I like Chaplin. Sorry, I like Watson if they're the same price, but Chaplin's a bit more unique. Depends where you want to go. But all 4 of them are really good options, Sam. So
if you want to cover, go Watson. Depends whether you're looking up or down. Yeah, if you're looking up, if you're looking down, get Too Good and Watson.
If you want to go up, Chaplin and Maloney, because they're the more pods. Agreed. That's a good way to.
Yeah,
that's a good way to wrap up. But where can people find you across the socials, Tom?
I'm on X at Tom_Hales_, and I hope round 8 goes fabulous.
Yeah, exactly. And you can find me at BAILSDT across the socials and us at AFL Fantasy Fans on X, and echo those same thoughts as Tom. Good luck this week. Hope you guys can smash out a good score, and hopefully your VC can put out a big score as well. And part of me wants Dana Finn to go well once again, so Tom has to live with that again. Because if she goes bad, Tom's then going to say vindication also finally. So, we'll see what happens there. But thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Good luck this week, and we'll chat to you guys on Monday for when our pod drops. So thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the footy. See ya.
Bye.